write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. It's the verse effect. 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 I write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.
What's up, everybody? My name is Roderick, and welcome to The Verse Effect, the podcast where we break down the lyrics and legacies of hip-hop's most groundbreaking songs.
And I'm Camille. Each week, we take a closer look at tracks that shaped the culture, pulling apart the lines, the context, and the artistry behind them.
Today, we're diving into EPMD's So What Cha Sayin, the 1989 single that not only cemented their reputation after Strictly Business, but also redefined what a rap duo could sound like heading into the golden era.
Before we start, a quick disclaimer. This episode includes discussion of explicit lyrics and references to mature themes in hip-hop culture. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, let's begin with maybe my favorite EPMD intro. It's that Employees of the Year, yeah, we back to work line. I mean, right off the bat, they set themselves apart. It's not just, yo, we're rappers, respect us. It's we're professionals clocking in. Like, they treat hip-hop as a serious grind, a 9-to-5 hustle that's got structure and swagger in equal measure.
You know, Roderick, what gets me is the way they're reclaiming the corporate metaphor. Most folks, especially in the late 80s, weren't exactly thinking of rap as a career path. Hip-hop was viewed as this raw, almost chaotic art form. But here comes EPMD with album titles like Strictly Business, Unfinished Business. They doubled down on this business image. There's something powerful in that. And they flipped the narrative. It wasn't just about street hustle. It was literally about professionalism. And that's not something you saw a lot back then.
For sure. And look, I grew up with parents who ran a record store. My dad always said, music is business too. That hit for me because, for a long time, rappers didn't get their due as entrepreneurs. EPMD essentially gave folks permission to think bigger, you know? That opening line isn't just clever. It sets the whole tone for how they saw the culture and their role inside it.
Right. It's like reminding people, look, we're artists and architects. They made it okay for hip-hop to be sustainable, to last. Suddenly, rapping professionally wasn't a punchline. It was like a declaration. And honestly, that's a massive contribution. It changed how people respected the craft and the business behind it. So moving forward to this verse, I'm known to be the master in the MC field. No respect in 87, 88 you kneel. That line is one of my favorites because it's not just posturing. Eric Sermon's reflecting on that grind they went through. It's about persistence. 1 year, nobody looks twice. Next year, everyone's suddenly bowing in respect, right?
That's the hip-hop way, though, isn't it? Prove it on the mic before you get any props. 88, 89, that transition was everything. The whole idea of the golden era starts here, and EPMD was right in that wave. Lyricism getting sharper, swagger in full effect, production layering getting deeper. They were literally the blueprint for where things were headed.
And it speaks to resilience. It says, we worked for this. That like competitive ethos of hip-hop, nobody gives you your status. You have to earn it. EPMD embodied that idea and then set the standard, not just talking about the struggle, but spelling out their rise. And you hear it all in those bars, confidence mixed with just enough vulnerability to feel real.
Yeah, and there's something almost motivational about it. They're telling the story, but also telling listeners, keep grinding, keep showing up. Eventually, the respect arrives. That's a message that sticks no matter what kind of work you do, not only in hip-hop. Okay, so next up, the line, girlies on my jock for my dope intro. Camille, you know this? Back then, an MC's entrance was as important as any lyric. If you lost the crowd in those first few bars, it was game over.
Absolutely. I mean, this is braggadocio, plain and simple, but the way it's delivered, super smooth, not aggressive. And what's fascinating, at the time, EPMD stood out by not yelling or going over the top. Their style was laid back but confident. Their intro set a mood. It was about immediate control, kind of, we own this stage from the jump.
And it's not just about the women in the lyric. It's about magnetism, about being undeniable from the very first word. In Oakland shows, even as a kid, I'd see crowds go wild the moment a performer nailed that intro. EPMD turned that into an art, smooth openers with a funky undercurrent. Yeah, it was cool, but it was commanding too.
Precisely. You get charisma and control without losing that edge. Their presence had impact. In a scene full of loud voices, they carved out their own lane by making subtlety the flex. That's something a lot of acts started chasing after. Now let's hit that classic. Drop the album Strictly Business and you thought we would fold. 30 days later, the LP went gold. Oof, that's a mic drop if I've ever heard one. The 80s weren't kind to hip-hop from a sales perspective. Albums usually took a while to break through, if they did at all. And EPMD didn't have that friendly pop crossover single either.
Man, and that's what's so wild. A lot of critics shrugged them off as like too funky, maybe not mainstream enough, but here they are, shutting down all that talk in just a month. That gold plaque wasn't just a win for them, it was a win for the culture. It meant you could be authentic and commercial, no compromise required. They proved you didn't have to water it down or chase trends.
It's part self-validation, part I told you so, right? EPMD is writing history as they go. And it's also a shout out to everyone trying to balance street credibility with commercial success. The door swung open for other East Coast acts because of that. You can be both. That became the blueprint.
And it echoes, like through every bar. That mix of confidence, receipts, and storytelling, fundamental to the legacy of not just EPMD, but so many who came after them. I keep thinking, every time I stack my vinyl, Strictly Business still gets a top shelf spot for that reason. All right, now here's where EPMD really flexes with wordplay. With knick-knack paddywhack so I won't lack. On my style, it's death. And it's deadly as crack. I've always loved that they can be playful with a nursery rhyme cadence and then, bam, hit you with something dead serious.
It's genius. There's cultural layering here. You get the familiar, something everybody's heard growing up, and then get slapped out of comfort with a reference to the crack epidemic. That was still tearing communities apart, you know? So Parrish finds this balance, introducing humor and a warning. And that became EPMD's thing. Accessible but sharp, never just about fun or danger alone. That duality carried a lot of artists through the 90s after them.
Absolutely. And as someone who lived through both sides, the innocence of growing up and the real dangers outside, it always rang true. It was creative, but it was also a record of the moment. EPMD never lost touch with reality, while keeping things funky.
Yeah, it's why their music endures. You can dance to it, you can decode it, and you can see where hip-hop's social commentary got some of its bite masked in groove. They made that okay too, fun and deep at once. So Roderick, after all those lines and all that history, EPMD's legacy almost feels bigger than any single track. That consistency of the business motif, they were branding before branding was cool. Years before the phrase mogul mentality, they're already showing what it means to treat hip-hop like a movement and an enterprise.
No doubt. They were pioneers in teamwork too. The chemistry. It wasn't combative like Run DMC, or all introspective like Rakim. It's this smooth, laid-back interplay that I think made the duo blueprint. That back-and-forth style, nobody was doing it with this level of funk and cool. And let's not forget the production. Heavy funk sampling, James Brown, Zapp, Camille. You hear DJ Scratch's signature everywhere, and after this track, producers basically said, funk is now part of the East Coast DNA.
Right. And you see their competitive confidence echoed in everyone from Redman to Method Man and other acts. But also, that combination of wit, braggadocio, and subtle commentary. It's the heart of hip-hop. Never just entertainment, always some kind of statement. So Wat Cha Sayin wasn't just a follow-up, it was a declaration. It said, East Coast is here, we're professional, and we're not going anywhere.
And that challenge, so Wat Cha Sayin, it became the test, right? Are you measuring up? Are you pushing the culture? That's the real legacy to me. This song is like the line in the sand for authentic, marketable hip-hop. All right, Camille, I think that's a wrap for this one. You got any last wisdom for us before we go?
Just that EPMD's game plan still inspires. If you're about your business, about your craft, and keep it real, the impact is still felt. I'm already looking forward to our next lyrical exploration.
Me too. All right, thanks everybody for joining us on The Verse Effect. Camille, always a pleasure. Till next time, y'all, keep those crates digging and the verses spinning. Peace.
Thanks, Roderick. Take care, everyone. Stay funky, stay fearless, and we'll catch you next time.
It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.